God is walking through fire between dismembered animals while Abraham watches, paralyzed with terror. This is Genesis 15, and what's happening is going to change everything about how you see God's promises. But let's back up. Abraham has just come off this victory, but he's still childless. God's promised him descendants, but as years pass, nothing but silence. Doubt has crept in. Abraham's praying. He is starting to crack. He's pouring out his fear, his anger, his vulnerability, and he's saying, God, what are you going to give me since I remain childless? Everything I have is going to go to my servant. That is raw honesty. See, back then, if a man didn't have any children, his chief servant would inherit everything. Abraham's not just afraid of not having kids. He's afraid that his entire life's work is about to be erased. This is legacy level fear. And God doesn't reply with a lecture, but a vision. Abraham, count the stars if you can. Your legacy is going to outnumber them. Now, this isn't just about population growth. Remember the Tower of Babel? God scattered the nations in judgment, confused their language, divided humanity. Now, looking up at the stars, God's telling Abraham, through you, I'm going to bring them all back. Every scattered tribe, every divided nation, they're going to find their way home through your family tree. Abraham's not just about to become a father. He is going to become part of the solution to humanity's greatest crisis. And one sentence later, the Bible says this, Abraham believed the Lord. You see what that is? That is faith punching through doubt. Now, the next part of Abraham's story is wild. And honestly, it's something that we often skip over. God tells Abraham, bring me a heifer, a goat, a ram, a dove, and a pigeon. And you can almost see Abraham taking a sharp inhale because he knows this is high stakes. In Abraham's world, the most serious promises, they weren't signed, they were sealed in blood. How it worked was this, you would cut animals in half, lay them down between two bloody rows, and you would create a path between the pieces. The most serious contracts weren't signed with ink. They were signed with your life on the line. Both parties would walk down the path and they would look at the carnage around their ankles. It was a way of saying, if I break this promise, may I end up like those animals. Abraham has finished the preparation. He's standing there in the silence. He can still smell blood and dust hanging in the air. The sun is beginning to dip down as his world begins to slide into pitch black night. There's no lamp, no moon, no shadows. And then something happens. Abraham is overwhelmed. He is immobilized by terror and darkness. He can't move, he can't speak, he can't even act. The sun has disappeared, and now this is not just fear on him. It's like time itself has dropped away. Blood begins to pool in the dirt, the smell is sharp, the silence is deafening, and Abraham, swallowed by darkness, can barely breathe. Then, out of the pitch black, this column of smoke rises. It's like a clay oven churning with this fire inside. This is a blazing torch. It has come to life. There's no footsteps, there's no voices, just this light weaving its way through the rows. The torch and furnace pass between the animals, tracing this path of fire and smoke in the middle of this darkness. Abraham, all he can do is watch. He can't join in. He's paralyzed by fear. God alone can walk this deadly trail. The only light in Abraham's universe is coming from this torch and this furnace. These would eventually become symbols of God's arrival. God is stepping into ancient covenant ritual. In ancient contracts, both people would walk the path. They would share the risk. But here, God alone is passing through. He's taking all the risk. He is saying in this ancient language, if I break my promise to you, may I be torn apart. No negotiation, no conditions. And then God gives him the promise. He names every future detail. He's not just making a spiritual promise. He is putting his reputation on the line for Abraham and all of his descendants. This is how deep God's covenant goes. It's not just words, but actions that nobody else would dare take. You see, the pagan gods in Ur and the pagan lands, there was no way they would make this type of promise to Abraham without requiring something. God's promise to Abraham wasn't just about one man, one family, or even one piece of land. It's about bringing every tribe, every nation, every scattered person back home to God. Every star that Abraham saw pointed forward, that's you, that's your neighbor, that's your family, that's your story. So when you feel lost or you feel like God's promises may be out of reach, remember, his invitation is open and his promise is unstoppable. This moment wasn't just about Abraham or some distant nation. This was about reserving what happened at Babel. God vowed to bring home everyone that's been scattered by sin, everyone longing for connection, everyone needing redemption, even if it cost his life. The stars Abraham saw are the invitation. No matter where you come from, this promise is for you. So when you doubt or if you feel too far gone to belong, remember, God signed his invitation to you in blood and in fire. You are part of his story, And this promise is for you now and forever. I would love it if you'd drop a comment and tell me what it means to you that God takes all the risk in His covenant. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe, be on the lookout. I have a playlist right here about the patriarchs. And until next time, God bless you.